Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've had an update on Star Citizen's graphics, the Gen 12 renderer and Vulkan optimizations, and plans for its improvements and implementation over the next few quarters. I have a full breakdown of that Q&A that Cloud Imperium did, and a quick summary of this week's news, which we'll briefly do first. It's for the week ending the 6th of February 2022. So the Red Festival is on. You can find red envelopes around landing zones in-game now and sell them at kiosks for Alpha UEC. Also, a range of red ships and skins are on sale. Xenothreat 3.0 is on live servers, so you can get involved with that server-wide mission and fleet combat. It's in your Moby class missions in priority. Bam! It's going to be around for a little while. Expect at least a week, maybe two if you're lucky. It's got good payouts and you can make some good space friends with it. Anyone can sort of join. There is a range of combat ships on sale while Xenothreat is on as well. The sneak peek this week appears to be of one of the Pyro stations, sort of one of the ones that has been taken over by various gangs, and its market area. Inside Star Citizen this week, I looked at ship-to-ship refueling that's coming with Alpha 3.17. The Starfarer will be able to carry fuel to ships that are caught short, have them dock with it, and then the fuel arm will connect to their ship and then allow them to purchase fuel from the Starfarer. The player in the Starfarer must actually adjust the nozzle to pump fuel across, and if they don't pump the correct amount, some of it will be lost. It's a very nice interactive system from the point of view of both the Starfarer and the ship being refueled. Cloud Imperium also very briefly showed off the hover quad, that new consolidated Outland hoverbike, which is still not on sale, but should be very shortly. It's a civilian hoverbike, no shield, little bit of cargo space, no weapons. It can fit in the back of the consolidated Outland Nomad. There was some drama at the new Star Citizen roadmap update this week, as Cloud Imperium made a statement that they were going to focus on the less targeted but broader progress tracker than a standard roadmap. So they're sort of depreciating some of the release view on the roadmap. So after Q2, after Alpha 3.18, they're only going to be showing the next quarter in regards to what features are in the next major patch on the release view. They're still going to have the progress tracker, which will track a huge range of tasks that lots and lots of different teams are doing over many quarters, and they are going to focus more on that. So this is because features move around very often, and people get annoyed when a feature moves off of a sort of release view roadmap. They're expecting it to be in this patch. It's not there because it moved out. Now, Cloud Imperium has said multiple times that they can't guarantee what features in particular are going to be in a particular patch, even if it's a plan or a target. However, this is especially true if the patch is several months or quarters away. That it changes so rapidly in game development for them that they go, well, we were expecting it for then, but we've actually changed it to be next year, and we've got these other features instead because it was more sensible to do that. Some backers felt that Cloud Imperium were blaming them because of what I assume to be poorly chosen words on Cloud Imperium's behalf, saying that some players were creating a lot of noise and didn't understand that when they have features in a major patch, that some of those features will almost certainly move out. They're not promises, they're targets. There's certainly lots of angry threads on Spectrum and Reddit for Star Citizen at the moment. It's all very fixable from Cloud Imperium though, and they could potentially make the progress tracker a great resource if they expand its info and context. This actually eclipsed the fact that some features, like persistent hangars, were actually delayed and pushed off 3.17. However, the super important ones are still there. I mean, I was looking forward to persistent hangars. Hopefully they'll still turn up this year. Refueling and expanded selling are still very much in Alpha 3.17 at the moment. And salvage and the cargo refactor are still in Alpha 3.18 at the moment. That's currently a win for me. Those are super important to get in this year. Although lots of work has been going into Pyro, we still don't know if Pyro and 4.0 are going to be released this year. If you want to see the full statement that Cloud Imperium made and the updates to the roadmap, please check out my video on that, links below. We had a Star Citizen Live graphics engineering Q&A with Director of Graphics Engineering, Ali Brown, talking about the Gen 12 renderer updates, Vulkan, and the road to an amazing looking game. Let's go through each of these questions, starting with, can you give us a general status update on Vulkan? Vulkan is the back end of the new Gen 12 renderer. The rest of the Gen 12 renderer needs to be completed before Vulkan integration is complete as well. In terms of features for the Vulkan renderer, they're about 60 to 75% complete, so they will then want to iterate so they can get it more performant as well once done. So it's sort of like the first release, they're going to tweak it. The Gen 12 side is almost complete as well, and once it is, they can throw more resources at completing the Vulkan portions, which will be released soon after that. You'll see more Gen 12 updates in Alpha 3.17, and more will come online with each major patch. So it's a stream of updates rather than a bam, now we're at Gen 12 and now we've got Vulkan sort of in-game. When will CPU and thread core count be optimized? CPU scalability should improve with more CPU cores and threads being used more appropriately with each Gen 12 update. Will the game always be so CPU intensive, or will it move to being more GPU bound? Gen 12 and Vulkan integration should help move a lot of the resources to the GPU, and other improvements will also help the game be less CPU intensive. Though the game and graphics options should make this scalable based on player hardware, the game is likely to be somewhat CPU intensive though, even when optimized. When Vulkan support does get implemented, are you expected to look further into mesh shader pipelines and the benefits for them? They will look at mesh shaders and may adopt them if sensible in the future. They want benefits for as many users as possible, so no point on working on technologies that only sort of benefit a very small subset of users. Has there been any internal testing of Linux using Vulkan and Star Citizen? Vulkan will improve Linux compatibility with Star Citizen, but they didn't confirm if there would be a native Linux client or not. They say that there are easy anti-cheat issues with Linux at the moment, and they're hoping that they will be solved in the near future. How do you keep up with tech? Will Star Citizen graphics get outdated or surpassed by other engines? They phase out older tech over time while continuing to develop and improve new and current tech. There are always going to be new big shiny engines and demos shown off as they go forward. A lot of these can be many years from actually being fully utilized in the cases of like some Unreal 5 stuff or all that sort of jazz. So you'll see a load of cool stuff coming out with new engines and pretty stuff. Doesn't mean that it's actually got a practical use case in the very near future. But they look at things like Unreal Engine 5 and learn from it. They are happy with the StarEngine, and they think it's going to be great when it's released. They're just going to keep on updating it. Ray tracing, Nanite, Unreal 5, they're not always the solution to all problems. Does the engine have limits that they're developing? They don't really have a hard limit. The engine is a set of many systems that continue to evolve. In fact, they say that evolution and iteration and improvement is actually accelerating at the moment. Are they going to be doing DirectX 12? They're not planning on DirectX 12 anymore. They're focusing on Vulkan, though they could implement DirectX 12 if they needed to. Will we have more refined graphics settings soon? Once Gen 12 is complete, we should see a radical change in the graphics options that are exposed, with basic and advanced ones that will all give you meaningful change. Options will be motivated in quality to performance improvements, so no point in giving you access to something that doesn't really do anything, doesn't really improve the quality or performance. Would it be possible to add a windowed borderless mode to graphics settings? Are they going to get res scaling working? Yes, and it's a high priority to get res scaling working. Are there any plans to let us turn off temporal anti-aliasing to get rid of the ghosting it brings and stuff? Temporal AA is a cheap resource and does a lot of stuff for blending in terrain and backgrounds and dealing with noise. So no. Currently, it would make a lot of stuff look bad. There's lots of dependencies on it. It gives really good performance, so they could potentially expose the option in the future, so they could turn it on and off or somewhere in between, but the benefits at the moment massively outweigh its issues. Can we expect to have native HDR in the future? They support it internally and have sort of messed around with it. It needs some work, and it will be fully supported natively in-game in the future. Will they add an option to turn camera-based motion blur off, but keep object-based motion blur on? Yes, they will in the future. As players consider GPU purchases, should they expect VRAM usage to increase as the game develops? So they want to make sure that they don't rule out any subsets of players. If you've got like 3 or 4 gigs of VRAM, they want you to be able to still play Star Citizen, but if you have lots of VRAM in the future, you're going to be able to turn on a lot more graphic settings and run the game at high resolutions. How are you planning on handling the graphical toll when entering a system with numerous assets? A lot of the current issues are due to CPU issues. So if you get like a really low frame rate, if you get a slideshow, this is going to improve significantly over time with the Gen 12 renderer and general CPU and game code optimizations. Will there ever be a practical night vision mode? There is some interest in it in the company. They can't confirm if it will be in-game. If they did do one, it would be probably quite realistic, and rather than just sort of a green effect. So they would do something that looked cool. Does RTX get the team any closer to figuring out a solution for the lack of reflective surfaces or mirrors in-game? RTX would be best for true mirrors, but it's too resource-intensive and expensive, so they're probably going to use low-cost methods on small mirrors or reflections. Will we have much more realistic snow and better weather in the future? They will have full-on weather at some point, with much better effects for rain and snow, etc. It's not all going to look the same, it's going to look very different, and it will affect your vehicles in some ways. DLSS and FSR, is there an update? They're going to be looking at the benefits of these technologies in the future. There are various UIs, though, that don't work very well with it in-game at the moment. So they tend to prefer tech that helps most players as well. Potentially, both of these techniques could be implemented in the future, but as I said, they're more likely to look at one that helps more players, but we'll have to wait and see. Will we see HUD visibility improvements in the future? They are looking at ways of adding drop shadows under text and various other techniques to remove extra brightness behind UIs. Yes, you'll see better HUDs in the future and you'll be able to read them. They also asked Ali Brown some more general things. What are you excited about coming in the future? And that sort of jazz. So I'll just read a sort of collection of what he said here. Frame rate is king. They want to get everything to a solid 60 frames. And then they want to push global illumination, because that's going to help with visuals a lot. It's the thing that's the oldest or the worst in game at the moment. They want to improve that. That's basically what they said. After Gen 12 is complete, they want to optimize the game further to help everyone get the best performance at the highest settings possible. They also want to improve the debug stats, so users can work out how to improve their frame rate or why their frame rates are what they are. Boom! That's it for your Star Citizen weekly update and the Star Citizen live graphics Q&A. But what do you think? Do you want Star Citizen to have native Linux support? Did you read that roadmap update? What do you think about that? Have you tried Xenophet 3.0? Are you having fun with that? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Mummy, my friend told me at school today that Star Citizen was a scam. Oh, Tim, is that why you got into a fight? Yes, Mummy. The only scam is people stealing all your internet infos and blocking your ability to watch things on Netflix and such with regional-based access. That's why we use our words, Tim. You should have told those bullies to get NordVPN, and also that Star Citizen is the best damn space sim ever.
Yes, these two people are right. Get NordVPN, and also Star Citizen's great. Also, Timmy was a 35-year-old teacher at the school. And it wasn't even a school, it was a pub, and he was a barman.
Every month we have a ship giveaway, and for February 2022, it's for an Aegis Saber, the high-tech medium fighter with loads of firepower, but it comes in an auspicious red paint scheme as part of the Red Festival, as well as lifetime insurance and a Star Citizen game package. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during the month. You can further support the channel by clicking the join button underneath any of my videos. You can also donate or become a Patreon. Your feedback, though, from comments really helps the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you're looking for a diegetic little controlly boy that makes your Star Citizen experience and potentially some other games pretty good fun on your touchscreen devices, then check out Game Glass. You've got that, you've got NordVPN links, you've got loads of other stuff, all in the links below. Click them all! Click them all! Maybe not all of them, that would be madness.